Back in 2019, December 2019, Palantir got one of the biggest contracts awarded to them ever, a $458 million contract over the course of 4 years with the United States military, specifically the branch of the Army. This contract was called the Vantage contract. That contract was specifically for data-driven decision-making, centralized data access, real-time visibility, applications for specific needs, and strategic asset leverage. Essentially, Palantir's software is digitizing, upgrading, making more efficient the United States Army. And this is back 4 years ago. Imagine what they're able to do now for them. So the original contract came with a $100 million base. Then there was an option renewal for $113.8 million. There was another option renewal for $116.3 million. This adds up to $330.1 million, leaving around $127.9 million left. If Palantir got that amount or not got that amount, I honestly have no idea, but I know that the contract is about to expire and it needs to be renewed. It's not guaranteed that Palantir is going to get this contract. However, it is strongly assumed and very much needed for Palantir to get this contract due to, number one, appearances that Palantir is working and it's essentially the only game in town, a pseudo monopoly, so to speak. And number two, the actual bottom line in the revenue. $458 million doesn't just fall from the sky. It's a massive, massive number. If you remember earlier in the week, on Monday, Palantir dropped nearly 10%. The next day, Palantir continued to fall. At the end of the week, Palantir rebounded. And nobody understands why it dropped and nobody understands why it rebounded. Or at least I didn't understand why it dropped at the time of making the video. However, this is a blessing in disguise once you figure out why it actually dropped. There is a hater, a troll, an absolute schmuck that completely hates on Palantir. This is an infamous analyst that hates on Palantir. I'm going to read you the analytics real fast. But the funniest thing about this is, after Palantir dropped for 3 days straight, Shyam Sankar, the number 2 essentially in Palantir right now, comes out and clarifies the hate from this analyst that completely shits and hates on Palantir for the longest time. And the analyst, which I'll read in just a moment, essentially said the Vantage contract is about to expire, and it's not for certain that Palantir is going to get this contract. Specifically, the Army is concerned with data protection, or who owns the data. And because of this, Palantir dropped. All right, blessing in disguise, if you can, see through the noise. And Shyam Sankar came out to clarify this, called this analyst by name, and came out and said, no, this is a clarification from the general that said this statement, which I'll read for you in just a moment, and Palantir bounced back up. This is freaking amazing. Think about this for a moment. With Foxglove and the NHS, literally we ate shit for the longest time. The NHS contract got extended so many times, and essentially we let it slide. And now you have Shyam, number 2. He's a big boy. He's a big name in the defense sector. He's a huge name in Palantir. Comes out and says, nope, let me clarify what was actually said. And this is the clarification from the Army. Huge. And on top of that, and stick with me, I'm going to show you in just a moment, you have tons of Palantir employees that are coming out left and right. You could see their interactivity with the Palantir community, the Palantards, the Pilly community. And it's freaking beautiful that we got their back and they got our back. And I'm sure that the Palantir employees are having a lot of fun with this. I mean, the other day there was an AIP demo, and the guy called the co-pilot, the AIP assistant, Amit. Shout out to Amit Investing. So if you were worried why Palantir dropped so much, this is going to be the reason. I'll show you in just a moment. And I think you should find solace that the Palantir community and the Palantir employees are in unison. Of course, there's a line and there's nothing fishy happening here. It's just that We're chugging along, pushing the company that we believe in, and they're pushing the company that they work for and believe in as well. Side by side, the Palantir army. And for the haters, you already know, suck it 2 times. Check this out. This is the smug guy, Louis DePalma. He works for William Blair. His success rate is 60%. He's number 3,000 from 8,600. So is he great? I don't know. His rating is 51 out of 85 ratings. Is he good or not? I don't know. You guys tell me. And sell rating, sell. This guy absolutely freaking hates on Palantir. His success rate with Palantir is 38%. So, I don't think he's any good. And he just talks mad shit. I believe his price target is like $5. It's ridiculous. And this is what came out. Palantir falls as analyst raises questions over Army contract renewals. Palantir Technologies' strong run in 2023 is running into more headwinds, with a bearish analyst on Palantir stock raising questions over the Army contract renewal. So this is what he says. There's a strong indication that Palantir's renewal contract in 2 weeks will be significantly less than the original $458 million. He also said that the Army might offer a new 2-year renewal for $116 million, with Palantir's revenue reduced by additional vendors sharing the deal. I don't know where he got this from, maybe because of the NHS deal, but this seems so blatantly an attack against Palantir and is absolute freaking bullshit. And finally, the William Blair analyst speculated that data ownership can be an issue between the Army and Palantir. Palantir aims to use customers' data to train artificial intelligence model. We don't have your data. We don't have access to your data. We don't use your data. We couldn't use your data even if we wanted to, because we don't have access to it. The data at the end of the day is going to be the U.S. military's data. And then Shyam, like an absolute gangster, straight G. And this is the first time I saw anybody actually talk about an analyst specifically, because they don't really care about analysts. But Shyam Sankar comes to the rescue and he says, at U.S. Army has corrected the record that Louis DePalma got wrong. This is the first time I ever saw them actually call out an analyst. Raftree offered additional context regarding his remarks on data ownership, and this is going to be the actual link. All right? To clarify my remarks last week, our concern about data ownership rights is directed at the entire defense technology community regarding the Army's expectations of the industry and will inform future data requirements across several programs. To be clear, and I quote, "We are satisfied with the Army Vantage program, its intellectual property contract language, its open data environments to facilitate Army collaboration, and its connection with third-party tools." That's freaking amazing, because shout out to Crossroads. He puts out this tweet, Palantir is down 8%, while a lot of noise, this is possibly a factor as well regarding the Army data platform up for renewal in 2 weeks. If there's uncertainty, that's usually not good for a ticker, but I have no concern personally. I also have no concern. And a lot of people, came out and started talking. So then I want to show you one more thing right here. They're all talking about this right here. Army plans MultiVendor Recompete effort for Vantage data platform eyes awards in late 2023. Multi-vendor recompete effort just means that there's, open bidding. This is normal. Palantir has went against bidding many times before. And he's making a huge deal about this. The Army is pursuing a multi-vendor approach for its recompete effort to power its Vantage data platform with an aim to award deals in late 2023. Army Under Secretary Gabe Camarillo on Thursday detailed the latest with the Vantage recompete, noting officials are currently working through a request for information and industry feedback. And I quote, "The program is going to operate under the following principles. First is continued progress on the data products to support our soldiers. We're not paying a step back in any way on our push for unlocking our data. We're going to pursue a multi-vendor approach that allows for testing with industry approaches and allows us to tailor products for specific use cases. Palantir Technologies is currently the software provider for the Vantage program, with the Army awarding the company the deal worth up to $458 million. And I quote, the Army Vantage program was established to enable users to make data-driven decisions following the Army to leverage its data as a strategic asset. Palantir's continued partnership with the Army since the platform launch has helped generate and integrate over 30,000 unique data sets from over 100 distinct systems. Palantir is said in a statement in December 2021 that the Army picked up its second option year on the contract valued at $116.3 million. Maybe they picked up their fourth option, but they didn't mention it. Again, $127 million. Now, the U.S. Army awards Palantir Technologies a contract worth as much as $250 million for research and experiment with artificial intelligence and machine learning. Guys, at the end of the day, Palantir bounced up. Palantir ended the week at around $17.80. It was trading as low as 17.10, if I'm not mistaken, and then it bounced back up once we got clarification. Look, at the end of the day, you have your thesis, you have your beliefs, and you got to avoid the trolls. Don't feed the trolls. You see them in my comments all the time. Palantir is going to $14. Personally, I put in a massive 20,000 share buy order, and I put in a cash secured put for this, that if Palantir is $17 by this coming Friday and a week from now, I'll buy 20,000 shares. If Palantir is $17.01 or more, I don't have to buy. For this, I collect premiums. I collected $10,000 in premiums just for this cash secured put. You got to put your money where your mouth is at the end of the day. And I definitely 100% believe in Palantir. Alex Karp was in an interview the other day, and he literally says we cannot keep up with demand. Palantir is an absolute beast. There's going to be bumpy roads ahead. As I said many times before, $20, it's extremely high valued, like perfectly valued, if that makes sense. At 21, 22, it's very richly valued. But at $17, $18, it starts to become interesting. And at $15, $16, it starts to become a huge bargain. I don't think Palantir is going to drop below 15 again. I think at, like I said, I've been saying this for the longest time. And now I do something called the wheel strategy with Palantir, where I sell covered calls and then I buy cash secured puts, or I sell cash secured puts. So I'm saying I'm willing to sell my shares at a certain price and I'm willing to buy shares at a certain price, collecting my premium on the top end and the bottom end and enjoying these runs. As Palantir gets closer to $20 and above, I'm more aggressive with my sells. As Palantir is away from that $20 mark, getting to 17, 16, 15, I'm not going to be as aggressive because I don't actually want to sell my shares because I think that's a bottom-ish price for Palantir. As a matter of fact, for my son's account, I just bought him 500 shares of Palantir for $18. You know what? I sold 500 shares for $18.50 as a covered call, and I did the wheel strategy to buy back at $18. So I bought back in 50 cents cheaper than I sold for him. I'm managing his account, and the entire time I'm collecting premiums. So I'm reducing my cost basis in my shares of Palantir for him. Guys, I hope this helps. I hope you can keep level-headed. There are ups, there are downs. We're going to see what's going to happen. If this contract is going to get awarded, we're going to see what's going to happen with the Titan contract. We're going to see what's going to happen right now with earnings. Make no mistake about it. I do think we're going to get this contract. And we really need to continue to get these contracts from the government because that's nearly 60% of our revenue. Now, with the government awarding this $250 million contract and, contracts left and right being awarded. By the way, that Louis guy, he mentioned this already 3 or 4 times and got it wrong. 3 or 4 times where he says, oh, we're not getting this contract. It's been delayed. We end up getting a bigger contract like a couple of days later. It's freaking hilarious. So take the opportunities, do your research. And none of this is financial advice. Please, if you like this, give me a like down below. If you want to support the channel, I have channel membership down below. It's $3 a month. Thank you very, very much. And let me know what you think about Palantir. Are you buying? Are you selling? Did you buy in the dip? Are you never selling? And are you going to sell at a certain price or not? Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your weekend.